evening. I'm Anna.
And I'm Erica Soderstrom. Welcome to SOU News. Southern Oregon University Campus Security is helping its students be prepared in the event of an active shooter.
SOU's Alexander Perez shows us how.
Following the devastating school shooting in Parkland, Florida just over 2 weeks ago, Campus Security at Southern Oregon University held an open forum on February 28, 2018 to make sure students and faculty are prepared in case an active shooter steps foot on campus. SOU President Linda Schott gave an opening statement before giving the floor to Fred Creek, the head of Campus Security, who led a panel joined by 3 Ashland police officers in SOU's Stevenson Union, during which they stressed the importance of taking action when in the vicinity of an armed intruder. Throughout the panel, Creek and the Ashland officers looked back at other school shootings in the United States, such as the 1999 Columbine shooting and the 2007 Virginia Tech shooting, demonstrating the number of lives that can and will be lost if students and staff are ill-prepared and, as a result, do nothing. The panelists based the discussion on the training protocol known as ALICE, an acronym standing for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. Particular emphasis was placed on the final step, evacuate, with the panelists imploring students to find any possible way out as soon as it is safe. Those in attendance consistently engaged with the panelists, gaining insight on what to do when faced with a situation like this in specific areas of campus, such as in the residence halls or, in particular, the science building, where many of the doors are made of glass. They said that no matter where you are on campus, stay alert, be watchful, and no matter what you do not do nothing. For SOU Student News, I'm Alexander Perez.
Last month, on February 20th, Ben Barnes proposed a lifting of the blood drive ban that was set in 2003 by ASSOU. Lauren Christensen reports.
Ben emphasizes the need for more blood donations due to blood shortages and severe weather storms canceling blood drives in the East Coast. He has hosted several off-campus blood drives and wishes the students had easier access to the blood mobile. Donating hours are during class time, so many students don't have time to walk across the street from the Plunkett Center to donate blood. Due to lack of access to all campus emails and SOU Connect, it is hard for Ben to advertise the blood drive to students.
The fact that we're able to get 20 people for each drive just by talking really word of mouth, presenting to classes if the instructor lets us. I think that speaks volumes to the really huge amount of donors we could get if we actually had lines of communication with the students.
The FDA regulation stated that men who had sex with other men cannot donate blood. ASSOU passed a bylaw prohibiting blood drives on campus to avoid discrimination toward the queer community in 2003. However, in 2015, the FDA changed the regulation to allow men who haven't had sex with men for a year to be able to donate blood. Since this change, the Senate bylaw hasn't been reviewed, and there is a question as to whether the bylaw still applies, since it was made in response to the 2003 FDA regulation, not the revised 2015 one. The ASSOU minutes suggest mixed emotions around bringing blood drives back. Kieran Ege, Speaker of the Senate, states, "It's a unique situation where you have two groups of traditionally underrepresented students that the university is standing behind by not allowing discriminatory practices to take part on the campus. But I feel that there is a lot of work to be done by ASSOU specifically in ensuring that the campus has correct and adequate information and that we are empowering students to take action to make change." Ben Barnes proposes a national gay blood drive. This blood drive would have petitions one could sign to urge the FDA to change the regulation, along with bringing awareness to students about the issues and make an impact to change the donating process so it is not discriminating against the queer community.
I really do hope that the student government takes into consideration that the regulation has been changed from a lifetime deferral to a 1-year deferral back in 2015. I'm very optimistic that they will choose to bring back blood drives, and I eagerly await their decision.
There will be a judicial meeting on Wednesday to discuss the language of the ban.
That was Lauren Christensen reporting.
An LGBTQ themed community will open for 2018-2019 academic school year in a wing of Shasta Hall. The idea came about after several students critiqued the gender-inclusive housing. Many students, like transgender and non-binary students, felt the gender-inclusive housing wasn't meeting their needs. The LGBTQ-themed community will be filled with people ready to explore gender, understand the importance of pronouns, and respecting identities.
And we think about really thinking of students who are most at the margins. Why wouldn't we want to do something that really helps them stay at SOU?
New and returning students can fill out an additional part of the housing application explaining why they want to be a part of this space.
SOU is now preparing to hold a Packer conference next February. Last week, SOU won the honor to host next year's Regional Business Conference for the Pacific affiliate of Collegiate and University Residence Halls. We sat down with the conference chairs to learn more about the conference.
After one meeting, we decided to do adventure. Leadership is out there because it really pertains to SOU, pertains to Ashland, and we think that leadership itself is an adventure that's unique to each individual. They go on their own journeys, they learn their own lessons, and they find their own way. And that's why we chose that theme for our conference.
Yeah, so it started out with the 5 of us, and then from there, once we got everyone's chairs and then their positions, and they each got to write their own section of the bid, and Cassidy and I got to write our own letter of introduction in the bid, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, so within logistics and scheduling, we really decided to put all this conference in like a central area business-wise to make sure that it's easy for people to navigate and get to where they need to go. So a lot of this conference is going to be in the Stevenson Union, which is really exciting because that is our most like equipped building, and it's really fun to just show it off with how many rooms and like activities and facilities that you can put in there. So that's where we'll be having philanthropy and some of our ceremonies and spirit activities.
Yeah, and if anyone's interested, we are looking for a ton of volunteers as the conference gets sooner. So.
And it'll be next February, February 2019. Usually the last weekend of February is when our conference is, so that's kind of like fall and winter of next school year will be when we're looking for those volunteers for sure. Yeah.
This will be SOU's second time hosting the Packer Conference.
With recent outbreaks of leptospirosis in the Rogue Valley, vets are urging pet owners to get their dogs vaccinated. Vermin such as raccoons and squirrels. It is transmitted to dogs by drinking water or wading through uncirculated water such as puddles and ponds, and spreads through contact with eyes, mouth, and nose.
So catching it early is always the best case if you suspect your pet may be at risk or have come into contact. The vaccine, and it is treatable with antibiotics, so if you suspect that your pet may have come into contact, see your vet as soon as possible, bring up the possibility, get them correctly tested.
The leptospirosis vaccine is recommended for outdoor dogs, those that play at dog parks or tend to drink from standing water. For information on lepto, please contact your vet.
A new theater in Grants Pass has a different story to tell than the traditional viewing experience. Glenn Briggs reports.
Inspired by VH1's Storyteller music series, Mike Smith, singer-songwriter with The Elevators, together with Wade Drake, executive director of the Barnstormers Theater, audiences in Grants Pass can now enjoy live music in a completely different way.
There's the dynamic of theater. There's a certain energy that passes between the performer and the audience, especially when the audience is captive and just watching that energy and feeling that energy. When you're at a bar, you're feeling the energy of your group and what you're doing. You're out for a different reason. You're not just there to absorb the energy from the performer.
Making use of theatrical props, normally reserved for a play scene, musicians can turn the stage into a setting of their own.
So through story, which is what narrative is theater, definitely, and then putting it here in that way adds an element. The artists get into finding things in the prop room that they can populate their stage.
It's all about the room. It's all about the intimacy of this room and the artists being able to play to an audience that's actually paying attention to them.
A seasoned performer and songwriter, Mike says that the Storyteller series finally gives him the chance to connect and share his song experiences on an intimate basis.
A truly amazing personal experience for me to be able to take those songs that were so meaningful to me and to express them to a group of people who was truly paying attention. What caused me to write that song at that given time? And then to have them now be absorbed by an attentive audience is something that we as players don't get to see all the time. It's almost, because of the room, it's almost more theater than it is music.
Wade says the Barnstormers is the oldest running community theater in Oregon and has a story of its own behind the name.
65 years. So this was originally a church built in 1923, and then in 1951, Barnstormers Theater Group got together, and they were Barnstormers because they didn't have a theater, and they bounced around the community.
The Storyteller Performance Series is winding down, and it's on its second year running with only 4 shows left in this season. Mike and Wade hope to return next year with more stories and music.
The Southern Oregon weather has been all over the place lately. Stick around so you don't get caught outside without your raincoat.
Weather with Malia is up next after break.
The audiences are incredible. So like people can read film here quite well. I love when a Q&A is really robust and challenging.
And it just feels like such a nice little vacation getaway.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Go to Ashland.
It's just terribly, terribly well done, this festival. I mean, really the best.
The SOU House experience is really an opportunity for students to get out of the classroom and engage the community in solving real-world problems.
Houses are about a spirit of adventure. Maybe that's rafting or building a house, but it's also about the adventure of figuring out what comes next.
The SOU Greenhouse is a sustainability and environmentally related house that focuses on solving some of our planet's most environmentally pressing issues. Our students get out of the classroom, they solve these problems with community partners, with local governments, with faculty partnered with them in order to achieve positive results in our community.
The Social Justice House is a place where students can get involved in the community to make the world more just. Students get real-world experiences working in communities to develop the skills and the creativity and the confidence that they need to make a difference.
It's a way to think about our students not as just vessels in which to pour knowledge in a classroom, but as active partners.
Students who have open minds and aspire to make change will find a home at SOU and the Social Justice House with students and professors who are as passionate as they are.
Get involved, make a difference in the world.
Get connected, join a house.
Now is time for our weather segment today.
SU's Malia Mooney joins us with today's forecast. What do you have in store for us, Malia?
Hello, I'm Malia Mooney with today's weather. We had a pretty sunny Monday with some cooler temperatures in the morning, reaching 54 degrees in the afternoon. You can expect a similar pattern tomorrow, but on Wednesday, we're going to see showers in the later afternoon, which will continue through the weekend. As everyone in Southern Oregon has known, we've had an abnormal winter, seeing some warmer temperatures in the first few months, but dropping to lower temperatures in the later months of the season. But as you can see this past weekend, we've seen some higher temperatures throughout the region, including up in the 50s on the coast. In the next few days, we're going to see a rainstorm coming in from the northwest, which is going to come in from Portland and come down into southern Oregon and Ashland. But the temperatures are still planning on staying consistent in the 30 to 40 degrees in the nighttime and 40s to 50s in the daytime over the next weekend. But we can expect to see some very cool temperatures and some frosty fogs in the mornings and late at night. So make sure to be ready for the rain. Oh no.
SU campus has put an end to campus surveys for the moment. About 2 years ago, an ad hoc group questioned the necessity for all campus surveys. Mike Shilby, a professor of sociology at SOU, says a lot of students complained about the influx of all campus surveys flooding their emails when students were conducting campus research for capstone projects. Chris Stanek, director of institutional research, explains all campus surveys are unnecessary. Stanek and Shelby both agree students can get an accurate research sample by using a panel of 1,000 randomly selected anonymous students to survey instead of sending a campus-wide email. Recently, some confusion and frustration among sociology students has occurred since some staff have been given misinformation and okaying all campus surveys.
Up next, we'll talk about the outcome of March's First Friday and show some great student art that was exhibited during the events.
Student veterans have a home at SOU, a university recognized for being a veteran-friendly campus. Our student veterans pursue a wide range of bachelor and graduate degree programs, including business, health, psychology, and outdoor adventure leadership. SOU is committed to assisting veterans and their families in pursuing their educational, professional, and career objectives. Our student veterans and military-connected students thrive in a dedicated space in the hub of campus. The Stevenson Union houses the Veterans Resource Office. Here you will have access to workstations, the Student Veterans Association, and the certifying official who serves to assist you with your military benefits and course planning. During the 2016 academic year, 317 student veterans received benefits at SOU. 20 are serving in the National Guard or are active reservists. 5 were studying abroad, and over $1.8 million was paid in the form of veterans benefits. Veterans at SOU have higher than average graduation rates and employment placement rates. At SOU, our student veterans serve as presidents of student organizations, provide many hours of community service, and earn opportunities for internships with employers who value military service. Veterans also serve professional roles at SOU. They serve in the areas of enrollment, budget and planning office, campus public safety, alumni, and the SOU Board of Trustees. Serving any branch of our military is a point of pride at SOU and embedded into our campus values. The campus community supports our veterans, and the greater community of Southern Oregon supports our veterans. It's a beautiful and fun place to live and a great place to grow in the next phase of your life.
I am a veteran.
I'm a veteran.
I'm a veteran.
I'm a veteran.
I'm a veteran. I am a veteran.
I'm a veteran and I'm an SOU Raider.
We honor our veterans at Southern Oregon University. Learn more.
Did you get?
Despite the chilly weather, people were still out and about during Ashland's first monthly First Friday events. Ashland kicked off March like they do every month, with local staying out a bit later than usual while showcasing local art and music to the community. The streets were busy with locals of all ages, including students, children, and elderly all alike. The usual trolley that brings commuters back and forth from SOU's Arts Center to downtown along Siskiyou Boulevard was canceled for the evening's events. But that did not stop town people from walking around First Friday. Events occurred every month on the first Friday of each month. Shops usually stay open a couple hours later than normal closing hours. It's a good excuse to go out and contribute to local businesses and restaurants with friends and family.
The CVA Galleries had their second opening this last Friday, March 2nd. We had a chance to attend and talk to some of the artists about their work. The gallery displayed SOU student artwork from poetry. These women all put their personal selves into their work and created beautiful pieces that were all very different from each other. As stated in their Facebook page, their art exhibited private truths, fears, and honest joys. Poetry in Sync highlights the words and phrases that all too often hidden. This was shown through visuals of their poetry along with the poetry itself. The artists exhibiting artwork were Reba Crawford, Kelsey Goldman, Jasmine Hurd, Mona Orskin, Manya and Ellie Peck.
I'm here in the creative writing program. I really love poetry, and I just thought, well, I want to do something that makes me happy. And so I got a few of the women poets I know in my classes that are really good, as well as a photographer, and then we kind of just wanted to showcase our poetry. It's something you can do to just express yourself, whether it's body positivity, issues around politics, or if you feel great, you know. So that's pretty much what I was thinking about.
The gallery will remain open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and the artists are all encouraging students, faculty, and community members to drop in and take a look at some of their artwork.
One highly regarded movie talked about this year is Black Panther. Now it is the third weekend in a row where ticket numbers have been consistent. Panther trails right behind Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and Avatar. Black Panther will be the second highest grossing Marvel movie in history, passing both the Avengers.
Yes, it was really good. It was I really like Marvel movies, and it's really funny too.
It was really good. It is much different than the other Marvel films. I think it was one of the best Marvel movies I've seen. The effects were really cool, and I think the spaceships and the casting were all fantastic.
Well, I've been a fan since I was a kid. It was a good movie, a lot of action, good story. Wasn't the best, you know. I think there were things that could be improved. When they did some of the fight scenes and the camera followed the fights versus holding back and watching the whole fight, kind of got you a little dizzy.
I mean, I liked it okay, you know, because I see all Marvel movies, but I thought it was a little long and it could have been edited better. And there wasn't enough skin. Everybody was covered up with clothes.
The Black Panther sits at a total of $494 million in week 3. As you can see, many different opinions here. You'll just have to see it for yourself and relate to those other thousands who have made it through the box office. The SOU Student Film Festival is back in motion this year as the committee opens up submissions to the public. For the 2018 year, many students...
programming team, which is me and 2 other people. We do all the technicalities of the film festival. We compile every single video that's in the film festival itself. We put them all together so it can be screened on the actual theater screen. We keep in contact with filmmakers. We also make up the scoring sheets for each film. And even if you're alumni, you can still submit. So even if you don't get in this year, or if you didn't get in last year, I'd highly recommend to submit again because there's a good chance that you will get in one of these years.
It's a fun place to be, and you can see a lot of different talent throughout the school. If you're like in the film program or not, just like anyone can submit, and it's fun to see like all the different films people are making, either for class or just in their free time. And I've gotten pretty good response for my last 2 films, so that's fun to hear.
I am currently co-chair of marketing for the SOU Student Film Festival.
And I'm Anna, and I'm the other co-chair of marketing, and we make up the dynamic duo of marketing.
We make a lot of like posters. We're gonna be working on like tickets and a few other things. Submissions are due April 30th.
By midnight.
Yeah, by midnight. You should submit your films. Just because like it's a good chance to get your films out there. See what other people think, help get feedback so you can grow as a filmmaker. You submit on a Google form. The link is in our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter post. You can find it there.
So we're going to be holding the film festival on May 31st at the Varsity Theater, and all filmmakers are welcome to be there, and anybody else from the community or other students can get a ticket to come.
And tickets will go on sale soon.
Get in your submissions soon to see your film on the big screen.
See how many awards the SOU track team brought home from their indoor national championship meet when we get back.
Sports with Malia is up next. See you in a bit.
Hello, I'm Malia Mooney. Spring sports are starting to kick into high gear at Southern Oregon University. First up, the Southern Oregon track team competed at the NAIA Nationals this past weekend. Erica Saunderstorm has more on their performances.
The SOU track and field team wrapped up their indoor season in Pittsburgh, Kansas, taking home 9 All-American awards.
The women's 4x400 meter relay placed second with a time of 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
This was my first national championship me coaching, so for them to come out and do as well as they did and get second, of all things, just watching them on the podium and knowing all the hard work they've done this year and all the Saturday practices and everything they put into this, it was just such a great moment for them.
Sophomore from St. Francis, Illinois.
Let's go, Jessa Perkinson became a 12-time All-American at this meet, as she took third in the women's 3,000 meter run with a time of 9 minutes and 43 seconds. And she helped anchor the distance medley relay team that also took third with a time of 12 minutes and 5 seconds.
Like, we saw the time, like we knew we were third, but then we got the plaques and it was like, oh my gosh, like this actually happened. It's relief too. Yeah. Yeah, it's over. We did it.
track team will compete in their first outdoor meet this coming Saturday at Chico State University. For SOU News, I'm Erica Soderstrom.
The Southern Oregon University men's lacrosse team has officially started their 2018 season, and it seems to be going fairly well so far. After only 4 weekends of games and a 4-3 record, the Raiders are gearing up for what looks like will be a successful season. Already having beat teams like St. Mary's University and Humboldt State, the 2 seniors on the team, Zach Humphrey and Spencer Pragle, stated that they feel like when they leave at the end of the season, the team will be in good hands. This Saturday, the Raiders had a 10-4 win over Pacific Lutheran University at Raider Stadium. Even though they had a slow start and the score stayed neck to neck throughout the first half, SOU was able to pull ahead and get a solid lead to finish out the game. Here's what the team had to say about their victory against the Lutes.
We started off really slow.
Yes, but we picked it up. Towards the end, we reached our full potential.
You know, I think our team faced some adversity early in the game, but we knew what we could do and went out there and balled out.
The Southern Oregon University women's basketball team wins the Cascade Collegiate Conference semifinals 99-80. The Raiders came out on top against Warner Pacific in the semifinals. Senior Remy Meha and junior Ariel Augustine led the team to victory with a combined 48 points. For our graduating seniors, Remy Mejia, Casey Williams, Taya Barfield, and Toria Bradford, this is their last season competing as SOU Raiders. The team is currently heading to Sioux City, Iowa to compete in national championship for the NAIA women's basketball. Good luck, ladies. It's March, and for NFL fans and future players, that means it's combine time. The NFL Combine is the interview process college football players go through to reach the NFL. The league only invites the top prospects from all levels across the nation to come perform drills and meet with teams. NFL teams do this because they look at players as investments and want to see what the players have to offer before receiving millions. Usually the top schools will have multiple representatives, while the smaller schools will have only one person. With such tough competition, you have to find a way to stand out. This year's Combine had something extra special. Shaquam Griffin from the University of Central Florida. He earned a full-ride scholarship to UCF and helped lead his team in an undefeated season this past year. UCF missed the college playoff even though they were undefeated, which caused a lot of controversy. During Shaquem Combine helped raise his stock and his chances of being drafted this April. The Student Recreation Center at SOU is nearly in its final stages. After a money fiasco, which lost the school nearly $2 million and 2 terms behind the scheduled open, a couple of weeks, and should be completely open for students when they come back from spring break. The rec center will include an indoor track, a rock climbing wall, and 2 basketball courts. This means the men's and women's basketball team will be able to host the games on campus this year after not hosting since 2014 season. And that is sports.
Malia. Girl Scout cookie season is among us.
We've got a sweet story coming up after the break.
Sustainability is one of the main pillars at SOU, and it's supported by all levels, from students to faculty, staff, and the administration.
I grew up on a farm in California. I know how important pollinators are, and for Southern Oregon University to be the first bee campus is fantastic.
So last year, SOU was accredited as Tree Campus USA for the first time. And we started thinking about Tree Campus USA and all the accreditations that we went through to get that and how we were able to accomplish that. And it struck us that we should be doing something for pollinators too at SOU.
Welcome, you found yourself at the Center for Sustainability, and we function as SOU Student Farm. Around 30% of our food is dependent on pollinators to grow healthily. It's really important to us to not only grow the food, but to steward bees as well. We have 3 hives here that we take care of. A big part of what we do here is make an environment that is really supportive and conducive to pollinators.
So what we're doing today is planting another pollinator garden on campus. This is our 4th pollinator garden that we've put in. We dedicate this area to no pesticides, no herbicides being used down here. We're going to put signs up that educate the public to what this is and why these plants are important. We're also going to put in these 3,000 flowering plants and hopefully encourage a lot of the native bees to come in here and take up a home here.
And this is something we have to do for sustainability, not only in Southern Oregon, but for this nation. The bees are at peril.
Now we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, cookies. Here's Malia Mooney covering Girl Scout cookie season.
It's our favorite time of the year again because the Girl Scouts are back selling their beloved cookies. The Girl Scouts of America is a youth organization for girls in the United States and living abroad that has been in service for over 100 years. For only a few months out of the year, the Girl Scouts' main priority is selling cookies, and they are very good at it. The annual average of cookie sales is about 175 million boxes, which turns out to be an average revenue of $656 million. The girls receive many benefits from their cookie sales, which help keeps them selling the cookies year after year. We got lucky enough to catch up with some of the local troops and see how they've been doing.
Our goal this year was 8,000 boxes for our troop, and the girls crushed it. They're at 11,000. So what they earn with that is we did a 3,000 level. Once they hit that, we pay their dues and their parents' dues next year. The second goal was 5,000 boxes, and at that we told them, pick something, let's do it, and they picked Reading water slides, so we'll take a girl and a parent down for the day. And then at 8,000 boxes, they really wanted to do a trip, and because they're girls between the ages of 6 and I think 10, they chose Great Wolf Lodge. So we're gonna go up and stay for the night, pay for a parent and a girl to go, and they've earned it, they pay for it. And then the girls will receive what's called a cookie credit card or prizes. If they take a prize, it's like the 100 level, you get a pillowcase, some earbuds, a keychain, a patch. Or they can take a cookie credit, which as you get higher, the increments become higher, but it's also consecutive. So by the end of cookie season, when my daughter reaches her 1,500 box goal, she'll have a $300 credit to camp. She'll have over $500 in cookie credit. And then also as a troop, we give any girl that hits 1,000 boxes $75 to spend on either day camp or summer camp.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Anna.
And I'm Erica. Good night.
No, and Emily, I just really processed too. The reason I wouldn't look up is